We got some Kickstarter Pickstarters.
Oh, yeah.
And the first one, I think I'm going to tell you about. I am. It is, speaking of video games and board games converging, this is Magica, based on the video game Magica.
But I think it has a bit of an interesting story about how
it's kind of interesting. So this is not made by the company who publishes the game Magica. It was actually this 10-year-old kid and his dad were playing this game, and he just started designing it, and they sent a letter off to the company asking for permission to license the game, and they said yes. They liked the design, and now it's on Kickstarter, and it's been funded very successfully already, so it's kind of a heartwarming tale for Kickstarter.
How does the game actually...
Well, basically, if you're not familiar, Magica, it's a co-op game where everybody is a wizard.
I think co-op.
Right. Yeah, this is not a co-op board game, I should say, card game. And basically, you have a bunch of different spells that you produce by combining different elements, sort of like recipes. So, like a lightning
fire,
lightning makes fire lightning.
And the reason why I want to make sure the quotation marks is even in the game, which, as you said, is co-op, the video game. There have been plenty of time when we've played it, and we sort of just kill each other.
Yes, there's a lot.
Sometimes by actual accident.
There's a lot of friendly fire, and part of it in this game is when you do a spell on someone, that you have to draw a mayhem card, so it could backfire, crazy things could happen, and it looks like they're definitely putting a lot of the sense of humor that Magica has. It's a very tongue-in-cheek kind of game, breaking the fourth wall, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, we're fans of that game, and it's got a great story behind it, and that goes for $25.
So maybe you should start new just the Steam game, like all the games you usually have on Steam now as board games. Like we got Portal now, we have this.
In the future, Steam games will be played on tabletops, and everything that was a board game will be played in Tabletopia or something on Steam.
We'll be waiting for the third Half-Life board game expansion.
That won't ever come out. Tell me about Daedalus.
All right, now Daedalus, you are actually caught in a sort of scientific lab prison.
Typical.
Yes, of course. But you have found a way, sort of a program to try to predict how to get out. The thing is, you're caught in sort of the center, and there's these rings that will rotate. And of course, it wouldn't be a prison without weird guards. In this case, they're actually failed scientific experiments of the prisoners before you.
Okay.
So it's your goal to actually try to escape by using a system that alerts you like where guards are going to be and stuff, and try to predict where the rings are going to move.
So is it cooperative? Does anyone play as the guards, or no?
No, the guards move as from what I could tell, but it looks like just it reminded me a lot of, what's the game, Room 52, sort of?
Oh, was it 50?
No, 25, I mean.
25.
25. I mixed up, I'm a little dyslexic.
Yeah, it sounds like that.
Like the idea of moving rings, I think is just really cool.
But with, like a sci-fi twist.
Yeah.
I like it. I'm on board. Yeah, no, that one looked good to me. And it's from Eagle Griffin Games, who also just did that one we talked about last week, the Egyptian one. So it seems like they have an interesting variety of stuff coming out, because this looked very different from the kind of things I was used to seeing from them. So that looks cool. That's Daedalus. That's a big one. That goes for $95. And they said retail, they thought it was going to be like over like $150 or something.
Yeah.
So it's got a ton of stuff going on in that game. And sort of along the same, going with the sci-fi theme, next one I'm going to tell you about is Emergence. You may have heard of this one. I've seen a couple previews for it. It's a hit and roll game. It takes place in the future. Everyone is an AI, except a couple people, depending on number of players, are secretly humans. So
those dirty humans.
Yeah, unlike most games, the humans are actually the people hiding in this one. And the AI is trying to figure out who you are. So every turn you're moving around a board, and you actually have different augmentations. So for the robots, they're just robot parts. For the humans, they kind of have been able to do cyborg implementations and stuff. That's not a word. And so you're moving around the board, you're picking up pieces to take different actions. You can steal from people, you can spy on them to try and figure out what identity they are, and humans are trying to like rid the world of robot resources. Robots are trying to get points for another thing. It's very interesting, but there's a lot of, it's kind of abstract looking in terms of the actual gameplay, but they're trying to go for more of a hit and roll in terms of what you do on the board, I think, equally or more so than just the trash talking element as a social element that a lot of these games do. I think it looks pretty cool. Emergence. I like the theme. I like hidden rolls. This goes for $39.
Yeah, no, it definitely is very interesting because, like we said, I think we were talking about hidden roll game ideas beforehand, and the idea that usually there's the good guys and bad guys.
Right. Usually the bad guys are the
non-humans,
hidey ones.
Yeah. Well, even depending on how you see what's good and bad in this, but I mean, even though the humans are always the reveal, the open ones, because that's just how we see ourselves.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, I think it was I can't think of the thing, but I know like other times it's weird to see humans a lot. And then all of a sudden in a world like Magica, that was it. It's like there's always humans everywhere. And then they did one world where there wasn't a single human.
Huh.
Which is like, huh.
Yeah, and I kind of like it as a thematic thing because it also, it's dystopian, it's post-apocalypse. It's a cooler thing that there's no humans.
And hopefully when playing this, we have to get like a red drink and a blue drink. So you have to decide.
We'll get that red drink, blue drink incorporated into something. And finally, Ember is the card game that you're going to tell me about.
Oh, yeah. Well, in Ember, you are wizards summoning magical beasts, and the point of the game is to have the best collection of creatures. However, you're summoning from this Ember, and as it is an Ember, it is going out. So when the deck runs out, game ends. Okay. So it's a lot of oppressing your luck, and how do you get points to try to go big or go home and try to get those really big creatures in, or do you try to get a lot of small ones to build the points up? And had like at least already, I think they guaranteed 30 different kinds of creatures, which I thought was really cool.
Different like kinds,
like fairy, griffin, dragon.
So that's a lot.
So it's not just like there's 4 different kinds and you're placing it. There's a large variety and stuff. And of course, there's other ways for you to mess around with your opponents and stuff, and how mayhem can ensue. So I thought it looked like a very cool game. I mean, I'm always a fan of large mythical creatures. 30 or 20 or 30. I'm mixing up the number again. The different creatures. It's still, I think, a great variety, and I really like.
Yeah, and it's all card-based, right? It's a card game. And eventually, I assume, they'll come out with the sequel follow-up called Flamethrower, and later on you'll get Fire Blast.
No. That's what comes first. You forgot Campfire.
Campfire?
Yes, there's going to be Campfire, then Napalm.
Oh, okay. Okay, I was trying to do Pokemon references.
Oh, I did not recognize that.
Thought you'd pick up on it.
No, I thought you were just saying things with fire. I'm like,
they're Pokemon attacks. Charmander.
Yeah, I realize
Ember.
now.
All right. Sorry, sometimes these miscommunications happen. We do it live here, folks.